Malo se fu manuia ya leu se tabai pa te fu nga luenga man te tu ya tinu malo te fu di Samoa ta tu ofisa ina fu ya te roa ta fa tu malo le tinu ya be pelvi inga ta tu tama lang e pu fa se fu ta tu ye mai nei tu la tamam kina ma tu me se fu ya fu nga le tu ta lo fa tu ta tu proclam nei tu sa tu mai nei States of America ile ne futaiao wa fodosi le fie me lo tupu me la tupu ya mava ngol nei tunu upo United States of America ya fie yo tantu tangata ole taiao nei ya wa mo sa mana o se tsi fo tamadi yo le tunu le swafa ya le tu Samoa de la ulu tsi Samoa longa fo ile ngati nei United States au tu langai il va fafo ai se fo ia malo o fatasi po United Nation ia mavai se so que pe wanga lue ile nei foi tama di o le tunu o le fa na mai mo so fo mai pia Samoa mai malanga sila se tasi tanga no so fuanga ngana be fa tonu po editor no spepo University of Kilani ia maso toi le na ngalunga i Europa ma tu sifo sa tu tonu na vem tu stala le CNN ma Samoa mo po den ngadui tonu lo ofisa fa sa lau amaro o fata si po United Nation mai la o motu na iti o le kelope se matamali i wa sa fa fo i motofia society tele lo langi fautoina tunu i ya pianga tama aingo tunu i ngadwenga o tunu tele o le lo langi ya mai matoi fo fatalo fa man fatai ba wala ba no ai fatalo fa toi fatai lava le tu Samoa la ulu mo fa no ino lo ta fa lava
Malo la Ken from Washington D.C.
Yeah. Ole talonga nei o tu sa tu mai Washington D.C. ya po de la umua o no ye le fa pa pena fa mo congresi o United States o America. Foi se me levou na lue e ma o ve fo United States ma lo tunu le lei de la ulu on wala também pa lo tal presidente ya fi fo yo ta tu tangata ya pe o sina ba no ta pa fo o no la o fiongo la valo si le fi ni mata u ai pem pai on tu mai so fi na ngalo i tu langa fata otto ya fi eta tu tangata Pacifica pem pai na e sa no tu langa pa no tra United States ile nei ta sang yo na tu le na i fi lai ti fo pe dua pe to il tapo kalami lo fionga lei tu Samoa lau.
Yeah, as you said, Aiono, the election is fast approaching in the next 3 months or so. So the activities of all the politicians have been very, very busy, very frenetic. The former President Trump has sounded the alarms. He said that the country is in real trouble and that if they do not elect him, then the country will be in really bad shape. And he's been broadcasting this message throughout America during his trips. But on the other side, Vice President Kamala Harris, she's saying that she's projecting joy. She says that, this country is going to get better, things are going well, and we look forward to working together for a joyous outcome and to come with us. So she's focusing on that, and then she's bringing in her policies so that people understand what will happen if she becomes president. And she is supported very well by her vice presidential candidate, Senator Waltz, who is very much of a down-home American boy, and he is very popular with the American electorate because of the fact that he's from the Midwest and things. So basically at the moment, former President Trump is starting to panic, and he's going off script, and a lot of people in his party are upset because he's leveling personal attacks at Vice President Harris and her running mate at the moment. they want him to go back to talk about issues and not attack the personalities of Vice President Kamala and her running mate.
What are the political differences between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump? How do you see the platforms and policy philosophies that affects people like Samoans, us, and Pacific Islanders?
Well, Trump is being accused of being the person who is, he's a billionaire, so they say that he's going to support the billionaires. And indeed, he has talked about producing a massive tax cut, which is going to affect the rich very, very well. And if the tax cuts go through, and if the tariffs against the import of, perhaps Chinese goods goes into effect, then it's estimated that it would cost every American family $1,500 a year. That's what it would cost them with Trump's new policies. Now, the policies of Harris are based mainly, they're standard on Democratic policies, where the focus is on the family and the focus is on assuring that there is choice for women so that they are in charge of their own bodies and that the government does not dictate what happens to them. And I think that most of our Pacifica people in the United States are still split in who I think they will vote. A lot of our people have voiced the fact that they would vote for Trump, but then increasingly those of our people who were independents, it looks as though Harris is becoming much more attractive for them. This is where I think you'll see a move, is between the people who are neutral, who weren't sure who they were going to vote for. But now, with the excitement and the joy that's been projected by the Harris campaign, I think a lot of them are starting to move in that direction. And also we're seeing throughout America that the polls are showing that the movement is towards supporting Harris at this point in time.
As you mentioned, there are also Samoans loyal and believe in what Donald Trump is saying. What do you think is the attraction?
I think that our people, our Pacifica people, living in the States, they're not at the top economic level. So our people are workers. They're on the front lines of labor and the industry. So they're not getting the high wages that Republicans are getting. And also, I think, like most people in that sector, economic sector, they're tired of politics and politicians. So what they've done is they've said, to heck with you all, and we're going to vote for somebody who's going to blow you all down, as it were. And Trump was like that. He says, everything is rotten, and when I get in, I'm going to kick them all out and make things better. So, for people who don't follow politics very, very carefully, this is a very strong message. And I think that our people, many of our people, are in that bracket, that they are going to support Trump no matter what, because they think he's going to kick everybody in the backside and make things better for them. But as I said, increasingly, those Pacifica who were not solid Trump voters and were neutral or independent, I think they are shifting now towards Harris.
Mm-hmm. When you hear and read what's on social media, what concerns you the most, Lily?
Sorry, please repeat.
When you read what's on social media nowadays, you've worked in all media platforms for the past 5 or 6 decades. What concerns you the most?
I think
for the Pacific people.
The rise in social media is one thing, because it's made the news more democratic in a sense. But on the other side of that, it's really cut into the truth in terms of what is projected in the media. There's a lot of misinformation which is being passed through social media. And don't forget that, on one side you have the mainstream media with people who are trained as communicators and have been doing it for years, but then social media so often is controlled by people who are the loudest, but not necessarily the best informed. So this is always a problem, because then what happens then is that there's less and less information and more opinions appearing on social media, which means that people are then starting to lose their support of the mainstream media, the professional media. So what we've seen is that there is a declining support for mainstream media because of the loudness of the social media that has been hitting the airwaves. And don't forget that, there are a lot of loonies out there, and the one who makes the most noise on social media is the one that gets read.
Yeah. I'll make some very quick, short questions. You have a lot of passion about Samoa. Like Samoa, the organization that runs Samoa, is on the verge of bankruptcy, and they canceled the Europe tour. What are your thoughts on that? Very short.
Yes, I feel like punting this one, but they've got to get the administration together. We've got some of the best rugby players in the world, yet if they're not being supported by the best administrators in Samoa. We need administrators who are straight, they're honest, and they understand the need to get our people, the best players, onto the field and to ensure that they're looked after. That's basically what it is. Get our administrators, get some administrators who know how to administer. Otherwise, it's a tragic shame for our Samoa boys.
Yeah. You have traveled around the world in the past 3-4 months, and you met the Prime Minister of Samoa. My last question is, if you have to give one advice to the Prime Minister of Samoa, what would that be, and in what area?
I think it's just she's very, very intelligent and very smart, and I think that she's doing a good job of not falling for the invitation from the major powers to join them. So she's holding off the US and the West, and she's also keeping the Chinese at a healthy distance. So I think that she's playing the independence card very, very well, and I would just say, stay the course and stay independent, and independence will keep you strong in the long run.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to thank you so much. We will have this discussion again. Thank you so much. And thank you for coming on Radio Samoa.
Yeah, okay. With us.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Papel of Samoa, c'est un long nom de tu Samoa la ulu, i Washington DC, ne futao. E puso pusala la ne nga mga lusilo la una, al mo temi nei mal nei yaso. Sei fu.